You're listening to Zoom the TBT with Charge and Hayner.
Hey guys, it's Charge and Hayner presenting Zoom the TBT, and tonight we got the gents from Jimmy V in the house. Guys, what's hanging?
How's it going, guys?
Going on?
How y'all doing tonight?
Good.
Good. Hey, well, thanks for jumping on, guys. So we got Alex, Vinny, and Corey from Jimmy V, and so we like to get things kicked off, ease into it. So a lot of good history with Jimmy V and the TBT. So let's talk to GM Alex Newman about kind of how Jimmy V started and evolved into the team they are today.
Yeah, sure. So we started out a few years ago as a Rutgers alumni team. Me and Vinny were managers in Rutgers. Started as a Rutgers alumni team. Played in the only jamboree in Philly, and then took a year off. Came back as the V Foundation team. Obviously, Rutgers not a whole lot of great alumni recently, other than Corey.
Other than Corey.
So came back as a partnered up with the V Foundation. Great organization. Obviously, everybody knows what they do in basketball. Figured it would be a great opportunity. The Jimmy V connection with Rutgers, obviously, as well. Came back. We got in 2 years ago and ended up losing a tough one to Brotherly Love. And then last year we got into the bubble as an alternate team.
Last year never happened.
Unbelievable roster. And yeah, you guys know how that ended.
Last year never happened, Vinny. That's one of our talking points for today. So let's talk about last year real quick before we get Corey pulled in a little bit. So if you caught my bracketology show and with me and Hayner, I said Jimmy V, even though you guys did not play a single game last year, probably had your stock rise just as much, if not more than anyone. So you and Alex come together, run this team together, really showed you can get some NBA guys like Hashim Thabit, some really, really high-level pros like Corey and Josh already lined up for this year. So take us through last year, Vinny. So you guys got the call to get in there standby, and what happened from there?
Honestly, last year is as full circle of an event as you could happen. We were out, and then we were on standby, and then we got in, and we were out. So, I mean,
Quick.
but like you said,
whole gambit.
I think our stock rose a lot, like especially a team that didn't play, like a lot of this with the TBT committee is saying, like, you could get high-level players, show up with high-level players, and buy into TBT as a whole. And I think we've proven all of that. So I think that's going to help us in the long run regardless.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the ability to get players and retool on the fly is a trademark of a strong GM and coaching staff team. So let's go ahead and bring in Corey. Corey, one of the real central tenets of this show is we like to highlight that, again, there's only 450 total NBA jobs, which means 451 is still someone who can take anybody they're going to meet in the street off the dribble all day, every day. People don't get how good you guys are. So we see you're putting up 18-7 in Poland. What was the Polish league like this year? How was it like playing Europe during a pandemic?
I feel like it was a good league. There was a lot of good players that I played against. Every team that I played had a high level player or two or three, and it was a good competition for me and everybody that was over there. I played against Torian Green, NBA guy. I played against a guy I didn't even know that got drafted by the Nuggets, second round pick like 2 years ago, but he's from Poland, so it was crazy just like seeing these guys that are overseas, but are established and are good players, and just going to be able to battle against them every night and just try to dominate over there. That was just my goal, and I feel like I did that. But just overall, the experience was great, and it definitely was something that I was looking forward to going over there and getting the job done. But we came up short, with the record in the playoffs and stuff. But other than that, man, I feel like it was a great experience for me.
No, definitely going overseas and trying yourself against some of the best the world has to offer is always fun. You were in Poland, pierogies, Polish sausage. Like, what are we talking about here? Like, what's the best food you're gonna get in Poland?
I stay regular, man. I was eating pizza and spaghetti every night. No lie. Like I was eating pizza and spaghetti every night. I was cooking like some fish or something like that, but I really wasn't into trying the new foods, man. I guess I gotta buy into it now that I'm going overseas. I gotta start buying into like the cultures and stuff. So we'll see.
Corey started messing with us. He's Italian now. He didn't know that.
Gosh.
There we go. We got to get him hooked up that way, Vinny.
Right.
All right. Hey, Alex, let's talk a little bit about kind of COVID and all that fun stuff. I mean, it's been well over a year now, and I know we're all sick and tired of it. Unfortunately, you guys ran into some issues with COVID last year. This year, TBT fans are in the game, but there's still going to be COVID testing. Obviously, the encouragement is getting folks vaccinated and getting that shot, so you don't really need to worry about it. But, you know, there's still that fear if someone on your team tests positive and we don't have enough people vaccinated on the team, you can get kicked out again. So how is that playing into your roster creation right now? Are these things you're thinking of? I only want guys that are vaccinated, or what's your kind of strategy around that? Because it's obviously got to be in your mind, especially after last year.
And also, before you answer that, make sure that the players know they can get 5G in their chips if they get the vaccine.
No, it's definitely not. There's no way I ever thought I'd be talking to guys about like getting the vaccine, like any vaccine. It's crazy that this is a thing. But yeah, I mean, after last year, the testing every day last year was miserable, to be honest. And then obviously the way it ended with us was just horrible. So it wouldn't hurt. I mean, everybody we're talking to about joining the team, everyone who's on the team, we've had the conversation about the vaccine. It's beneficial for everybody if we're vaccinated, just with the rules that they have laid out, where if someone does test positive, everyone who's vaccinated can stick around. Where if you're not vaccinated, you're gone.
Yeah.
And then the testing is way less frequent if you have a certain percentage vaccinated as well. So yeah, I mean, it's a big thing, just like the NBA has the rules where if you're vaccinated, you can go out, you can eat out, you can kind of do whatever you want. It's pretty similar where you don't really have to wear a mask around if you're vaccinated at the hotel or the mini bubbles, I guess, that they're going to have. Yeah, I mean, it's a conversation we've had with everybody. I mean, I'm vaccinated, but it's a conversation that we're having. We're talking to people about it. It's not we're not turning people away who are just going to say, like, we haven't had it come up yet, but I can't imagine we're going to turn someone away that says no to the vaccine. It is what it is. But yeah, it's definitely a conversation we're having with everybody.
Yeah, it makes the team building just a little more difficult. Now, Corey, you probably got tested a lot in Poland, so you get the swab, right?
Yeah, the nose.
So when you get it up there, like, does it actually touch your brain? I would ask Vinny, but I mean, I'm talking about brains here, so I'm going to skip asking Vinny. But in your case, do you get it up in your brain? Like, how's that feel?
Every time that I went, the people never, like, I guess they were lightheaded. They never really went too far. So like, I mean, it brought tears to my eyes, but it didn't really. Everybody else I hear is like, man, it was killing me. Like, you know, it's a tearjerker though. It's not too bad. It wasn't too crazy.
Yeah, totally makes sense. And following up that, Vinny, all kidding aside, so you were there last year, obviously, and you're talking about the protocols. What is the biggest difference you've seen from what you've been communicated with that you can share? By the way, we're not asking you to get in trouble or say things you're not supposed to say about team calls and things, but what is the biggest difference preparing for the half bubble, partial bubble? Like, how much personal freedom are you guys going to be allowed at the event, you think?
In terms of like the particulars within the bubble, I haven't gotten, you know, a bunch of information yet. But one thing is, like, since we've had a whole year of COVID, now, like, last year we didn't really know what we were going into, you know. So now having a year of this, being well prepared for it, whatever they ask of us, we're gonna be able to get done, especially with time now.
Yeah,
I think the biggest thing too is, like, the whole time last year leading up to it, like, we knew the possibility of like one positive test and you're out. Like, we knew that going in. Obviously, it ended up happening to us, but like, we knew going in. So like, every single day we had guys getting tested. Like, we knew that it was just kind of there.
Yeah.
Like, the anxiety was just constantly there. So that's not there this year. And that's not going to happen. Even you do have a couple guys who test positive, you're not going to get kicked out. So I think like just kind of peace of mind is a lot better.
And one other thing is, I mean, us bringing up a vaccine to a player is probably not the first time they've heard this if they're playing professional basketball.
Yeah.
And, you know, a lot of people that I've talked to, like, they're saying, like, at some point, if I keep traveling to Europe and playing, like, eventually I most likely am going to have to get it in this career. So, you know, a lot of guys have been open to it, and it hasn't been as difficult of a conversation as I thought it would be. But as long as, you know, when you have that conversation, they know is that, you know, everyone comes from a different place. Everyone has different views, and, you know, we just trying to work to get the best out.
Be respectful. Absolutely.
Yeah, got to keep all the guys healthy. If you guys end up in Charleston, you know, big nightlife there, way better than Jersey or where you're normally hanging out, Vinny.
Now we got to send Corey out. I don't know. We got to keep Corey out. Like, we need an Alaska bracket or something.
A good-looking guy like Corey, you got to keep him like literally under wraps. I'm sure he's going to be a problem.
Hey, man, I'm chilling, man. We're going to handle business, man. We're going to handle business.
Yeah, that's what they all say. Yeah, it's a business trip during the day. At night, it's, you know, whatever it is.
Yeah, get a day off or whatnot. Yeah, so Vinny, let's talk a little bit about the players. So you know, we hear some of these really good backcourts into TBT, and I know you're really excited to have Corey and Josh on your team. What gets you excited about coaching these guys? What do they bring to the table?
First off, my relationship with both them, like, is so far beyond the court. They, like, I know whatever I say to them, they know it's just because, you know, we trying to win, and it's nothing personal. So I trust them going out there. And another thing I love about them is, you know, they're interchangeable. You know what I'm saying? 1, 2, bring it up, get the ball, outlet, let's go.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, having a backcourt of the quality of Sanders, Corey, obviously, and Perkins really gives you a lot of options. Having be able to put 2 point guards, have them spell each other. It's very much like a Portland sort of situation where you have those 2 lead guards sharing a backcourt who can play off each other, play on or off the ball. Corey, how do you see the partnership with you and Perkins being 2 ball-dominant guards who also share the rock really well? Obviously, 7 assists in Poland. You're not scared to give it up to get it back. Like, how will this help your ball movement and creating shots in your offense, you think?
I feel like it'll be no problem. We both know how to play the game at the point guard position, and we both can score if need be. And I feel like it'll just work very well. We're interchangeable, like Vinny said. We can play high pace. We're explosive guards. We're gonna play hard on both ends. You know, get at it on the defensive end. So I'm just excited. I'm just very excited to get out there with him.
Yeah, so Corey, I listened to the kind of the little bit that Josh announced that Jimmy V was getting back in the tournament. And listening to that interview, I could tell he was really genuinely excited about playing with you specifically on Jimmy V. So you guys have a history and played together. How do you guys know each other? And like I said, he's generally excited to be a teammate of yours this year.
I just really, you know, I've known, haven't known him personally until like this past year. You know, just keeping up with him. He's a great player, followed his career. And then he ended up in Poland this year. We played each other twice until he got called to where he's at now. So just having that relationship between Vinny made it easier with me and him. So as soon as I seen him, it was kind of like already a brother thing because him and Vinny have a relationship. We already been talking about playing in TBT together. We were supposed to last year. I had to leave, and then they didn't get in, so it didn't happen. But so when we seen each other this year and at it in Poland, it was just like all love. You know, we said our, you know, what's up and stuff. And ever since then, we've just been real cool. So, you know, it's going to be real exciting for fun.
So looking at this roster, there's obviously some firepower, and we were talking a little bit to get warm beforehand, and you've got a really great backcourt you can trust to handle the rock, score and pass, score at all 3 levels. And you've got a lot of really good inside players. And we were talking about earlier, there seems to be, and this is early in the process, so the roster's coming together. There's a lack of wing scoring, obviously. You've got a great backcourt. You've got a lot of guys up front. That 3 position seems to be a little more open. Obviously, don't tell anybody you don't want to share. We're not asking for information. We don't break news here. We just sort of shoot the sort of concepts of the teams. But what are you looking for in a wing to go with this really good front court and this really explosive and sort of Swiss Army knife backcourt you have? Like, what would be a perfect wing complement to your rotation?
I'm going to tell you, Ryan Brown, all right, Ryan round, is playing for the Miami alumni team now, and he broke my heart. So
For now, you're playing for him for now.
For now.
Ryan, if anyone out there wants to send this to Ryan, you could let him know that. But no,
We're
we're just,
recording. I'm sure he'll hear it.
we're listening for a guy, looking for a guy that's
Definitely looking for a guy.
we need a 3, man. We need something like that. But we're in the mix, we got some stuff up our sleeve.
Like what we have, and I really feel like the way that I look at the roster and the way it breaks down and the way I feel like we can play, that, it's just kind of like just going to be a feel for the game type of deal for us, and have, just follow what Vinny and then have instructed for us. But I feel like, it just really will work out.
Yeah, definitely.
That's excellent. That's excellent. So, hey, if you follow our account, you know this, but we'll go to Alex. So, any players you're ready to break the news on, let's make sure we have their video. Let's make sure they're committed to your team and that they're really playing for you before you tweet it out, right? You guys,
crazy, man.
Crazy. That's crazy. That
and,
can't.
It's funny because we know that goes on, but for the guy, normally it's just we had a guy last year, Haywood, and he same thing happened to him last year. We hit him up and we were like, well, you're actually on this roster already. And he didn't know. We told him he was on the roster. But yeah, that was crazy. And so we're typically very careful about that with tweeting stuff out until we don't have the video. We need to get confirmation.
No, I've been joking. I've been joking with Alex because I get paranoid sometimes. He's like, man, Vinny, we are perfectly fine. I go, perfectly fine. We got 3 Corey didn't even give me his video yet. I go, we got no.
This counts as Corey's video. Yes. I will get you a copy of Corey is committed.
Hey, can you screen record his video right now and just send me that?
No, I got you, Corey. You're playing for Jimmy V, right?
I will be playing for Jimmy V upcoming.
Perfect.
I'll get you a clip of this. We'll
2021 fully committed.
Yeah, we are so careful with that stuff. Vinny was mad at me because I slipped up and put a former.
I saw some of those names you guys were throwing around. I was like, holy cow! Which is still some of those are in play, obviously, but not ready to be released yet.
I was not told that list was going to be made public, so that was not my fault. But
it happens. It happens.
Not many people dig as deep into the TBT underworld as I do. So if it's out there, I'm going to find it.
But that's one thing. One thing with this, the way this is set up, let's just say it's a week before the tournament, and Corey Sanders gets a call from a EuroLeague team that wants him tomorrow. He got to go. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he's got to go. Got to money over everything.
My thing is even if I have you, until you're in front, after we had to get 20 commitment videos last year to fill the team at 10 just to get there. The amount of guys we lost in this process is so you're not committed until you are off the plane and in Vinny's car.
Yeah, that's a fact. That's a fact.
Well, if you guys need an injury waiver, shooting wing off the bench who is terrible, I'm happy. If you're in Charleston, I'm happy to get a uniform and come out there and pinch minutes. I mean, frankly, you're better off having Charge out there. That's besides the point.
I'm a big man. I'm backing down low.
How Charge? Go ahead.
I'm almost 6'2". So for me in my over 40 league, that's sufficient.
Yeah, Vinny, what were you saying? I'm sorry. We were talking about Charge's lack of athleticism.
No, I just was gonna say, one of my favorite players, Tyler Stone, Memphis, is back with us. That's I just want.
I wasn't not gonna mention. I mean, we mentioned Memphis around here, obviously.
Penny bobblehead.
The Penny bobblehead, the greatest human being of all time. He should win, basically a Nobel Prize whenever he goes up for one. Okay, so obviously
NIT though. You're happy with the NIT?
One year deal. Come on. This was you guys last. This was you guys' last year. This is what you guys' last year to get us. Next year it's over. Next 10 years, all Tigers titles. Just so you know, I'm calling it here first. There's no way. I'm gonna say it anyway. Okay, talk about regions now. Obviously, Jimmy V is one of those teams that we consider a lock. Charge and I do the bracketology. We consider you guys a hard lock. We also, however, know that seed and depth doesn't necessarily apply to lock status. For example, we like to bring up teams like B3 and Kimchi, who we love, who have narratives, who are quality teams. and they're locks we consider, but they're more like the mid majors that win a tournament locks. They're going to be closer to the 12 to 15 line.
What would you consider Team Jimmy V?
I would consider Jimmy V a
It's
lock.
never going to be high enough or low enough. I can put you guys as a 2, and you're going to be pissed at me, Vinny.
So we blended you out.
Are we mid-major plus or what?
You're a high major mid team. You're like the 4th in the SEC. Danger. You're a 7th seed is what we had blended. One of us had you as 6. One of us had you as an 8. We won't say which was which. We don't care. There's close enough. But the key thing about this is on the true seed line, we had you at 26. And this is we did this like a month ago. We're gonna have to do another one pretty soon, I think, because those shows crack people up. We put you right around CP3 Power of the Paw of that area, which is basically a team that can threaten to win the whole thing. They're a team that is a contender. So my question is, we're talking about regions. You're currently looking at Charleston. Charleston has heard that. Our buddy Ott, who's been giving us crap on Twitter all day, which is fantastic. Best Virginia. We're probably going to see Sideline out of there. So there's a depth to West Virginia that may not be present in some regions. It's a very deep region. It has the most applicants at this point, I think. And it has a lot of deep teams, where some have a top high end, like we're looking at Wichita, or not Wichita, looking at Peoria, which likely has Eagles, likely has Payne, but then might have slightly softer depth. Depth versus high end competition. What is going into your factoring in of what region you eventually formally apply to?
It's a little bit of both. I mean, there's some storylines. Like, I would love to play Heard That.
Yes.
I like to think
they're the most
that,
requested. Everybody wants a piece of Ott.
I mean, we had them. We were matched up with them.
Well, I
would
still
like
got
to think
scouting report that no one else has.
Yeah. I would also like to think that nobody would know who Ott Elmore is if we play that game. That's just me. I'm not calling him out, but I like to think that no one knows who he is if we would have played that game. But
it could have changed the whole face of the tournament, because you guys had a solid team, and obviously they have a very, very good team as well. I think that would have been very evenly matched. Definitely a lot better. Not to knock Peoria All-Stars, but they did
the mission they did to do. They came and played hard. Good for them.
Yeah, but
so
that could have changed the face of the tournament. So Vinny, Corey's on mute, so we'll come back to him. So how do you guys think?
Corey, real quick, finish your question. But Corey went on mute when we mentioned Ott. I mean, I'm not saying Corey's scared, but go ahead, Charles. What were you saying?
Yeah, so obviously we know where Alex stands. So as the coach of the team, Vinny, how did you think your team would have matched up? And do you welcome that matchup again this year? You hold the same sentiment?
I'm not gonna say we would have won the game or anything, because at the end of the day, they beat that money team that's loaded.
Oh, yeah.
Started getting it going. But I knew we were one of the most prepared teams in the TBT last year. So I'm confident in my work, the coaching staff. Especially we also hired an NBA coach this year that has 8 years NBA experience as our head coach, Master Track. So I mean, when it comes to the regions, there's no hiding in TBT right now. Like, no matter where you're going to go, you're going to run into a war. But, I mean, John Elmore actually and I have a personal relationship. Where I was coaching at last year, the person who was coaching with me was actually a manager for John Elmore. Mm-hmm. So we've been talking a lot, and we talk all the time, TBT. So I definitely Charleston would probably be the most fun region because I know a lot of those dudes over there.
Yeah, you can beat them and then have a beer with them.
Yeah, no, I think that's what's interesting about the TBT. I think, like I said, there's a lot of teams that, full of professionals, and, you're going to go out there, you're going to talk a little trash, but at the end of the day, just good mutual respect for everybody. So Corey, obviously you weren't ready to go last year as you were heading over to Poland, but you have played in the TBT before, so you were part of that team a couple of years back. Unfortunately, lost to Team Brotherly Love, who's really mad at us right now, but we'll see what the next top 25 looks like. But what was your first experience with TBT? Obviously, some of the rules are just a little bit different than you're accustomed to. And, were you surprised with the level of talent from these teams? And what did you take away from that that's going to help you prepare this year?
First of all, it was a great experience. Just to be out there and playing with the guys. Great bonding experience with those guys, too, that I met. A lot of guys I met for the first time. But it's definitely just something that I'm definitely looking forward to get back out there to doing. This year we have a great squad put together, and I feel like what we learned from being out there was just playing together and just playing hard and having a good spirit, which just leads you a long way. I feel like that's something we're going to take into the tournament this year.
Right. Were you able to catch any of the games last year? So obviously you were in Poland, but with only 24 teams, the talent was crazy. Did you watch it?
I was tuned in every night. Every night I was tuned in. I had nothing else to do because quarantine and over there, was COVID stuff. So I was tuned in every night. Every night I was watching. It was very exciting. I was like, man, I wish, I was there. Like I would be there right now. So I'm definitely looking at the chops to get out there.
Yeah. And this year's tournament's you had 24 teams that were super high caliber, and it looks like this year already you're going to go 40, 48 deep that you could say would have been a top 24 team last year. It's going to be amazing to watch. So
may God have mercy on the selection committee. That's just we do this for fun. We have a lot of fun with it, but I have no idea how to pick teams. Go ahead.
One thing about TBT this year is every player that I talked to, where in 2 years past, after what they did last year, everyone, no matter where they're playing or how much they're making, is going to have that TBT conversation with someone at some point, because the level of talent it's shown that it's serious basketball and it's not, roll the ball out there and play.
Yeah, no, I mean, the level of players that play in this now is just it's just getting better every year. Like you used to, we had some guys that looked like me in charge playing when this first started. I mean, like Team Barstool and stuff. Yeah, exactly.
That's hard to believe. Me and Hayner could have put a team in and actually played just 3-4 years
I mean,
ago.
We still can.
How bad would that have been?
We still can. You can do lots of things. Lots of things are possible. But just because you can doesn't mean you should.
Yeah. And if we wanted to waste $20,000 for a buy-in slot, then I guess we could put ourselves in the starting lineup and go for it, man.
We could totally get in on fan engagement, and by totally get in, I mean I'm delusional and completely full of shit.
Tens of thousands of people who watch us every week.
Okay, so anyway, a couple of closing thoughts. Obviously, by the way, thanks for coming on. This has been a fantastic conversation. Can't wait to see Jimmy V. Hopefully in Charleston, but wherever you guys end up going, be it Columbus, Pure, or whatever. Closing thoughts. What excites you most? I'll start with Alex, I guess. Actually, I'll start with Corey. What excites you most about the possibility this year of winning a championship with this team?
The money.
That's right. There's no line about that.
Cash rules everything around me.
Nothing else but the money. Now we representing Jimmy V, the foundation. We're definitely in it for that. But this is go out there, show the world what you got. A lot of guys got deals off this tournament. Like it's real. This is serious. So it's
a job fair. It's a job fair.
Yeah, this is an interview. So it's go out there and try to get your money both ways. That's how I look. So the camaraderie of the guys. Being with Vinny, Alex. The whole team, everybody that comes and joins our team, what have you. But it's just time to handle business. And
that Coach Mass Track, Coach Corey Sanders at Adidas Nations camp a few years ago. So
there you go.
Already.
All right. So Vinny, closing comments. So what else should we expect from Jimmy V this year?
Honestly, it's just actually playing in another game, because I've been preparing 24 months for one game, and I feel like a psychopath.
Yeah, I'm sure. Ever since that time, it was awesome with you guys last year, getting to meet your dad online last year. I mean, you guys were a blast.
Man says he feels like a psychopath, like he actually isn't one. Like I feel like a psychopath. Like I am a psychopath.
We're crazy, man. We're crazy, but we believe in us. We like us a lot, and that's how we roll.
Alex, awesome, definitely exciting. What is your rallying cry this year? I mean, you guys got in, you guys had that team that barely missed the first cut, got in as a replacement team, were hell bent for leather, ready to kick some ass, and then also got bounced. Like, is this sort of a cosmic way of saying we're owed some games? We're owed a few games this year. Like, are there going to be some more levels to get to? Do the basketball gods owe Jimmy V?
I'd like to think so. I'd like to think so, but we all know that's not the case. But as Vinny said, it's 2 years of planning at this point to play one game. We're still looking for our first win. It feels like we've been this thing for 6 years at this point, and we don't have a win. But we're trying to build out, for me, the money is a big part of it. For me, it's like building like the brands, like Sideline Cancer, like that's like a great brand. Everybody knows who they are. And I see no reason why we can't be that. And I think last year we were on our way to becoming that, and then we kind of got screwed. So it's just another year that I think we can do that. Like we can turn some heads. Our roster is going to be great. It already is. But yeah, I mean, the goal last year was to get our first win. It's still the same goal this year. But yeah, I mean, it's been 2 years of playing for one game. I just want to play a game.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's going to be fantastic. Real excited to see what Jimmy V brings to the table. Not only, I mean, highly, highly talented squad, bunch of professionals, but just a fun group of guys that just love the game, love to have fun, and ready to get out there. So, Alex, Vinny, Corey, I appreciate you guys jumping on, and, appreciate everyone listening to Zoom to TBT with Charge and Hainer.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Appreciate
guys.
it.
Hope you enjoyed listening to Zoom the TBT with Charge and Hainer. Subscribe to YouTube, follow on Twitter, and give us your money.